Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban has successfully completed 6 years of implementation. The journey is all about sharing experiences of turning into reality Honorable Prime Minister's vision of housing for all by 2022. The millions of smiles are a testament to the fact that Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana has had a transformative impact on the lives of citizens of India. Today, we have with us Shri Durga Shankar Mishra, Secretary, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, to give us his insight of steering the urban visions of India. He is joined by Shri Surendra Kumar Bagre, Additional Secretary, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, and Shri Amrita Vijay, Joint Secretary and Vision Director, Housing for All. Come, let's listen to him and know more about Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much for speaking to PMAY podcast, sir. So the first question that we have for you today is that India has witnessed some rapid urbanization in recent past. What has been the response of this ministry with regard to this?
Thank you, Amrit. In fact, the last census, which was in 2011, got India's urban population as nearly 38 crores, which was 31.2%. And the growth of urban population vis-a-vis growth of the rural population was much more. And now it is taking off. The way urbanization, the urban population is growing, it is projected that by 2030 our population is going to be around 60 crores. And by 2051, when we have the decadal census in 2051, this population is projected to be around 88 crores. That is the World Bank's projections. If you take the projections for today, say in the year 2021, the population will be around, urban population will be around 45 to 46 crores. That means we are going to add more than 40 crores in the next 3 decades. That's a huge challenge, because when there is a growth in urban population, it brings congestion, pollution, degradation in the quality of life, because the total overall requirement on various kinds of civic amenities, unless we cater for that, whether it is water, sewer, electricity, school, entertainment, all these facilities for which people migrate to the urban area, that becomes too much. Also, there is a sprawl. The population in the slum areas, in the informal settlement, that grows. So unless and until we take care of that urbanization is a huge challenge. You must have seen flooding in the areas. You must have seen dark area, kind of a dark atmosphere. The pollution level in the cities is very high. So we need to address that. And if you address that, that brings a huge opportunity. A lot of economic activities can be weaved around to make a good quality of life to the population which is living in the urban areas, and that is the step which the present government, right from 2014 onwards, which has taken.
Okay. So that's very interesting, and that brings me to the second question, is that what has been the comprehensive strategy or a schematic response to the kinds of challenges that this massive urbanization has brought about? As a ministry, what's been the overall thinking behind these schemes?
If you see, right from 1947 onwards, we have been a very shy urbanist. Even somebody comes from the urban area, he traces his that he is from the rural area. We have always celebrated and we have always put that in the front line. If you see our planning, planning missions, planning commission's various plans, right up to 6th plan, there has been no specific provision for the urban areas. It was later that some kind of a small contribution started. The real focus started in the year 2004 when JNNURM came. But that was also very ad hoc kind of approach to the challenges of the urban area. It was for the first time that in 2014, when Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi's under his visionary leadership, the new government of NDA that took place, his vision was translated into converting the challenges of the urban areas, the challenges of the urbanization, into the huge opportunities. What are those? The very first thing one gets is the sanitation, because the cities are absolutely dirty. People defecate here and there. You see the heaps of municipal waste in the city. Say for example Delhi, you take any national highway, you will find heaps of dumps, big dumps of the municipal waste. And here comes Prime Minister Modi, when in his very first address on 15th August 2014 from the ramparts of Red Fort, he announces India to become clean. The mission of Swachh Bharat, that was launched by him on 2nd October 2014, and now you can see the results. The whole country is witnessing that. Anybody coming from the cities, the whole face has changed. This is one program which has brought the maximum change, where you have the 100% cities are now open defecation free. Large number of cities, more than 3,000 of them are ODA plus. That means the city, the toilets which are there in the public or in the community area, they are absolutely clean, hygienic. We have got more than 60,000 toilets which are on the Google map. You can just use your Google map and then reach to the nearest toilets. Then on the municipal waste front, we had only 14% of the waste being treated in the year 2014. Now that number has gone up to 68%. We have 97% of the wards which has got the door-to-door collection, more than 70% of the waste being segregated at source, and more than 68% of the waste being treated. That's a huge improvement in the municipal waste treatment, municipal waste management. Then the kind of the people's engagement. This has become, I was very much there when the Honorable Prime Minister launched the Swachh Bharat mission from Rajpath on 2nd of October 2014. And in his speech for the launch of the mission, he says this is not going to be a government program. This is one program which has to come as a Jan Andolan, people's program. And today when I reflect back 7 years back, I find at that time it was looking at a challenge. Now it has really come as a true Jan Andolan, when it was a natural sight when people will just open their windows of the car and just throw out anything. Now you don't see that. Now you don't see people littering around. People are conscious. Even the children are conscious. They will ask you not to throw things here and there. So there is a complete change in behavioral change. And I think now this is the kind of a strong foundation which has been laid. The Swachh Bharat Mission 2.0, which is the subsequent one, which has been announced by the Honorable Finance Minister in the budget speech, that is going to change the complete scenario. I think the next 5 years is going to be a complete transformation of Indian urban landscape, when we have a neat, clean and a green India. We will have a clean air. The focus is on taking out our single-use plastics from our lives, using the C&D waste, which is the construction and debris waste, into useful material so that there are no more waste. In fact, making waste as a wealth, that has brought so much of entrepreneurship. So many new kind of ideas, innovative ideas have come up, and they are all, one improving, they are adding to the economic activities in the cities, and at the same time they are improving the whole livability, the condition of life. The second big challenge is the housing, because when somebody comes to the city, he finds that there is no place to live. So he takes the easiest path. He goes and stays in slums, which is gets at a much nominal rate, as an affordable rate, or he goes to the informal settlement. Now a program of the dimension, the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, where Honorable Prime Minister envisioned that everybody will have a Pakka house with drinking water, with electricity, with a gas facility, with a toilet, when the country celebrates 75th year of Indian independence. That was a huge order. It was just looking impossible. And today when I look back, I see it has been made possible under his visionary leadership. Even for the rental housing, For the first time in India, such kind of a new thinking, providing affordable rental housing, changing the rental laws. All these things are big changes on the housing sector. The third thing, when somebody comes from the rural to the urban areas, he requires a skilling up. His skills are not fit for the urban areas. He may not be able to earn so much as he wants to earn. So this, through the Deen Dayal Upadhyaya National Urban Livelihood Mission, DNULM what we call, through the various schemes of that, and recently through the PM Swanidhi, the street vendors, there has been a complete transformation. You see, nearly 60 lakhs women which are urban poor, they are members of the self-help groups. They are producing goods which are being used. I was, in fact, only yesterday, I launched a new brand name and a brand image called Sonchiraiya. And you'll be surprised, this is our effort during the pandemic, that in the last few months, this Sonchiraiya is now giving us the brand identity, but without that, more than 2,000 products are already there on Amazon and Flipkart, which are coming from more than 50,000 self-help group members. And now with this brand name and the brand image, I think the Prime Minister's vision of local to global is going to become possible. Now the products which are getting manufactured, produced by these ladies will be sold anywhere through the Flipkart and Amazon. And now we are also adding to that Tata Click, and we are also going to add to that the mantras. So all these things, some kind of using the e-commerce platform, we are giving wings to our women. The fourth thing which is required is the infrastructure, a scheme of Atal Mission for Urban Rejuvenation and Transformation. Through this mission, 500 cities whose population was more than 100,000 plus, or they were important cities on the hills or on islands or on the banks of the rivers or on the coastal areas, they have been selected, and the kind of transformation which is taking place. Almost 1.07 crore new water tap connections have been given in the last 5-6 months. Something like 87 lakh sewer connections have been given. 1.01 crore street lights have been converted into LED lights. That is the huge transformation which is taking place. And now the next version of that is going to be the Jal Jeevan Mission Urban, which has been announced by the Honorable Finance Minister in the budget speech. And once that comes, we are going to take this up to all the cities, whose number is now more than 4,400, and they are going to make our cities water secure. Because many cities were wiped out of the geography just because they did not have enough water. We have many examples in country, and we have plenty of examples across the globe where the cities did not survive just because of water. To make the cities water secure is the first target. And second is to get 100% every family gets drinking water tap connection. And drink from tap. The recently government of Orissa came out with the city of Puri has got the drink from tap, something of which I've only seen outside India, but now it has been made possible with assistance of Amrut, that any tap you can directly drink. You don't need to convert it, use that, process it through the RO. You can just drink from tap. And every tap has got 24/7 water supply, and that is something which we are aiming at through our Jal Jeevan Mission Urban. And the last thing is our Smart City Mission. This is completely changes the whole way we think about urbanization. It gives enough scope to our urban administrators, urban managers to think and come up with such solutions which, in the words of Honorable Prime Minister when he was launching on 25th June 2015 from Vigyan Bhavan, he said smart city is nothing but to get more from less. Whatever may be your available resources, whether it is education, health, entertainment, water, sewer, electricity, anything, whatever may be your resources, available resources, how can you get more from less? That means there is no wastage. 2, there is a proper usage, optimal uses of that. So how you can distribute that available resources in such a manner that everybody can get that and satiate their needs so that they can contribute their best to the economy. Then the last thing is about the urban transport. The kind of changes we have brought to the urban transport. Think of it. In 2014, we had only metro running in 5 cities across the country. And the total running kilometers were 240 kilometers. Majority of us that in only Delhi. Today, we have metro rails running in 725 kilometers, and when we celebrate the 25th year of Indian independence, we will have more than 900 kilometers of metro operational. We had already touched 85 lakhs passenger per day on our metro network before the pandemic, and I am hoping that if this pandemic, once it gets over, say by 2022 end, we will have 1 crore passengers running per day on the metro network. That is what Honorable Prime Minister Modi's vision. And we have got 1,160 kilometers of metro network under construction at present. And out of that, for the first time in our country, we have got the regional rapid transport between Delhi to Meerut. The distance is almost 90 kilometers, and this distance, which takes right now around 3.5 hours, it will be covered just in 55 minutes using the RRTS, and you will stop at 14 stations. So that's going to be really exciting, and I am very confident in December 2022, we will have the first 17 kilometers of this RRTS running in Uttar Pradesh. This 17 kilometer is going to run in December 2022, and by 2024 all Delhi to Meerut will be connected to the RRTS. It's a beautiful concept. When you stay outside, you can enjoy the clean air of the rural area or the open area and come and work in Delhi. You will take 30 minutes, like traveling in Delhi from one area to another area. You can come in the morning, go back in the evening and stay at home so quietly, and you travel in a very, very comfortable, convenient and a punctual kind of environment. We have also added Metro Light for the first time, which is going to be around 40% of the cost of the metro, and Metro New, which is going to cost around 20 to 25% of this. These are the new standards which have been brought so that people experience that with a much lesser cost. They are specifically very good for the outer areas of the big cities like Delhi, Mumbai, etc. And they are also good for the tier 2 cities whose population is less, so they can afford much lesser cost. So it's absolutely new kind of a change. And the water metro, which has been added to the Kochi, we have got many cities in the country which has got a lot of good water network. We can have the water metro, we can have that kind of experience which we have in the metro system on the water. This is another new addition. The water metro in Kochi has already started. The last thing I will say is a complete transformation of the urban space. The municipal corporations, to make them self-dependent. Who has thought in 2014 that our cities will raise funds using the municipal bonds? Today, 10 cities, that includes Ghaziabad and Lucknow in Uttar Pradesh, that includes Pune in Maharashtra, Ahmedabad and Surat in Gujarat, Visakhapatnam, like 10 cities in the country, they have raised 3,840 crores using the municipal bond. That shows the strength. And another 40 cities are in the line. They're all working so that they can also raise bonds and they can become self-dependent. So this is the vision of Honorable Prime Minister. It's a kind of a concerted, comprehensive and a very intensive approach to completely change the whole urban story and bring ease of living to the citizens, to get them achieve whatever they want to get them realize their potential to the best of their cities, to the best for their state, to the best for this country, so that their economic contribution, whatever skills they have got, is given to the best of their order. And that is what is going to lead to the India journey from $3 trillion to the $5 trillion and to the $10 trillion economy by 2030.